Say it ain't Saul. No doubt Republican Party Chairman Michael Steele is muttering that under his breath today. Amid news, former Michigan Republican Party bigwig Saul Anuzis wants to challenge Steele for his job, and a growing number of Tea Partiers are encouraging Saul to do just that. Michael Steele is not available to us today, but Saul is. He joins you right now. Do you not think, Saul, that Michael Steele is doing the job?
Well, it's not a function of whether he's doing the job or not. I think the circumstances have changed. You know, in 2010, when we hired Michael Steele, basically the party had come out of some of the worst election cycles we had. And we talked about having, somebody who was going to be a spokesperson for the party, basically a face and a voice of the party. And I think he made the case. I mean, remember, I ran against him at the time. And
right.
I think one of the strongest things he did was he said, look, I'm a recognizable figure. I'm going to be able to go out there, instantaneously represent the party. And I think that was a big reason people bought into it. This time around, we've got Speaker of the House. We're going to have more governors, senators, not to mention the fact we got presidential candidates coming up. So we are going to have plenty of people who represent us in a public manner. And I think we've got to get back to the fundamentals. Find somebody who's going to basically make sure the trains run on time, raise the money, and then implement the best get-out-the-vote program Republicans can possibly have in 2012.
But you might have just mentioned his campaign platform for the job. He's done all that. He's helped oversee the election of all these governors, this takeover of the House, these big inroads that you guys were making last year in states like Virginia, Scott Brown in Massachusetts, and Chris Christie in New Jersey. He was the guy at the helm doing all that.
He was the guy at the helm, and there were a lot of successes, and there were also some bumps in the road. And I think that what we'll find out here in the next 60 days or so as this campaign rolls forward is we're going to have to put our vision forward and say, look, here's what I propose. Here's how I would do things differently. Here's what I think we should do differently given the different circumstances in 2012. And if Michael decides to run, he's going to make the same arguments or different arguments.
Well, what would you do differently then, Saul?
Look, I think the biggest difference is the focus. Number one, I would focus on raising money and making sure we do a good job so we have the money available to fund these programs nationwide. Clearly, we fell short, and the Republican Governors Association, House and Senate campaign committees, all these guys had to pitch in money diverted from candidates to make up on the get-out-the-vote effort. I would make sure we were fully funded by making that a priority and an effort. And then number two, I would make sure we build the best get-out-the-vote operation we can have nationwide, which is very different than what third parties can do and is a critical part of what we need to do, kind of the blocking and tackling on behalf of our candidates so that they're ready to win elections.
Would you put the priority more in the next election on the presidency, getting the Senate flipped as well? Where?
I think they're all very important. Clearly, we're going to want to hold the House. The Senate's going to be a great opportunity. There's over 30 seats up for re-election, and over 20 of them are held by Democrats. And then I think if President Obama continues down kind of this radical road where he shows no compromise and is willing to kind of take the most liberal positions on things, I think he's going to be very vulnerable. So I think this is going to be some great opportunities for us, and we just have to be prepared to take advantage of them.
Do you feel, though, let's say you did get this job, that you might be taking over a bit of a Civil War-strung party, that these Tea Partiers and the tension that exists between some, not all, of the principal players is a sign that Republicans are in more disarray than is being passed along to folks?
Now, see, I disagree. I think the party is rejuvenated, is excited. You take a look at these Tea Party people. They are bringing back a lot of excitement and a lot of fresh blood into the party. I think it is incumbent upon us to work with them, to be respectful of them, to ask for their support, and never assume you have them with anything. But this is a great opportunity for Republicans, and it's up to us to take advantage of it.
All right, Saul, thank you very, very much. Michael Steele, of course, the offer always goes out. But thank you.
Great to be with you.